Hello, my name is Juan Santos, and today I'm going to show you how to take a motor starter apart, inspect the insides of the motor starter, examine the coils, and reassemble the motor starter back together. First, you start off by taking your motor starter and you take the two screws off the motor starter's cover plate. And inside of this cover plate, or underneath this cover plate, is what they call the contact block area, which houses the coil, or is also known as the solenoid. Solenoid simply slides right out, which the solenoid part contains the coil plus the magnetic pieces known as the plunger. As the coil has power applied to it, the magnetic field, or the voltage is induced into the coil, creates a magnetic field causing the plunger to go up and down. Okay, and this mechanical movement is transferred into the contact block area where this mechanism moves up and down. The next step, we would take the contact block further apart into the contact area where we will examine the contacts. And this is what they call the contact block. And here the three sets of contacts are housed that open and close the circuit that allow power to flow through and out to the motor. So as the coil gets power and it energizes, this mechanism moves up and down. This mechanism here will move up and down. As this mechanism moves up and down, it pushes out the contacts which open and close the three-phase circuit to the motor. And over here on this side we have the other side of the contact block section. So here you would see your three-phase power coming in, line 1, line 2, line 3. As the coil energizes, it engages the contact block, closes the circuit, and power flows through into the overload section. The bottom part of the motor starter houses the motor overload section, and we would take one of these off as well. The overload section is the lifeline to the motor. What protects the motors is the overloads, and the overloads are comprised of a cylindrical tube that has a spinning freewheel, and inside this tube contains a certain amount of solder or a melting alloy. So as current flows and it heats up, if too much current flows, the solder will get soft, allowing this spinning wheel or flywheel to spin freely. So if this flywheel spins freely, the motor starter engagement that keeps the overload switch closed would release, causing the circuit to open to the coil, shutting the three-phase power going to the motor. Now, putting it back together is the same process. The way you put the overloads back in, you want to make sure that the mechanism is on the top side of the flywheel. Torque them down. I'm missing a screw, which is right here. That's the simple part of putting. That's as simple as it gets to put overloads into the motor starter. Contact block section fits right back in. It's being held in place by two screws. And inside the contact block goes the solenoid. Sometimes the coil will burn up or go bad and it needs to be replaced. And these are replaceable parts inside the contact block or inside the motor starter. And that's just slides right back in, and then you're set to go, and you put the cover plate back on, and we are just about done. And that is how you take a motor starter apart for examination and reassembly.